Hello everyone, welcome to this training session on biosimilars. My name is Richard Bateson and today we'll explore the fundamentals of biosimilars, their evolution, regulatory approval processes and challenges in manufacturing and marketing. Let's get started. So, what are biosimilars? Well, biosimilars are biologic medical products that are highly similar to already approved reference biologics. Unlike small molecule generic drugs, biosimilars are not exact copies, but demonstrate comparable efficacy, safety, and quality to the original product. Biosimilars versus generics. It's important to note that biosimilars are not generics. Due to the biological variability and differences in manufacturing processes, biosimilars display minor variations in their final form. These differences exist even in different batches of the same biologic, including those from the same manufacturer. Biological medicines and their sources. So biological medicines are derived from living cells or organisms such as bacteria, yeast, and human or animal cells. These products are often created using advanced biotechnological techniques. They include vaccines, gene therapies, monoclonal antibodies, recombinant proteins, and stem cell therapies. The importance of biologics. Biological medicines play a crucial role in treating chronic and often disabling conditions, including autoimmune diseases, cancer, and rare genetic disorders. The complexity of these medicines allows them to target specific disease mechanisms effectively. The evolution of biosimilars. The development of biologics began with the approval of Humulin, the first recombinant insulin, in 1982. Since then, biologics have expanded significantly, addressing immune-mediated diseases, cancers, and rare genetic disorders. The first biosimilar approved in the EU was Omnitrope in 2006, which is a human growth hormone. The first FDA-approved biosimilar in the US was Zarxio in 2015. Since then, biosimilars have gained regulatory approvals worldwide, enhancing treatment accessibility. As of today, approximately 60 biosimilars are approved in the US and approximately 86 in the EU. However, recent trends indicate a slowdown in new approvals, reflecting evolving regulatory and market dynamics. Biosimilar approval pathways. Regulatory agencies like the FDA and the EMA follow a stepwise approach to approve biosimilars. This involves rigorous comparison with the originator biologic, covering analytical studies, animal studies, and clinical trials to ensure safety and efficacy. FDA and EMA biosimilar approval. The FDA evaluates biosimilars individually, providing guidance to manufacturers on testing requirements. The EU follows a similar process, comparing data between the biosimilar and reference medicine to confirm biosimilarity. Pharmacokinetics, or PK, and pharmacodynamics, or PD, in small molecules. Pharmacokinetics involve the process of absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion, or the ADME, of drugs, while pharmacodynamics refer to the effects of drugs in the body and the mechanism of their action. A drug travels through the bloodstream. It exhibits a unique affinity for a drug receptor site. Pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics, Part 1. Unlike small molecule drugs, biologics have complex PK/PD profiles influencing their administration and metabolism. Absorption. Biologics are typically administered parenterally, for example, intravenously or subcutaneously, because they're not usually well absorbed via the oral route due to their large size and susceptibility to degradation in the gastrointestinal tract. Distribution. Similarly, the distribution of the drug in the body is influenced by the molecular size and binding properties. Pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics, Part 2. Metabolism. Proteolytic enzyme breakdown occurs throughout the body. Excretion. They are cleared via the kidneys or via cellular degradation. Understanding the PK and PD of biologics is essential for optimizing their use in clinical practice, including dosing regimes, administration routes, and monitoring strategies. The role of biologics and biosimilars in cancer treatment. Biologics and biosimilars have significantly contributed to cancer treatment, particularly through monoclonal antibodies and cytokines like erythropoietin and granulocyte colony stimulating factors. These agents enhance patient outcomes while reducing costs. Manufacturing and marketing biosimilars. Manufacturing biosimilars is highly complex and costly compared to generics. Strict process controls ensure consistency, but proprietary knowledge held by the original manufacturer poses significant challenges. Regulatory and patent challenges. Regulatory frameworks like the Biological Price Competition and Innovation Act in the US establish pathways for biosimilar approval while addressing patent disputes. The Biologics Price Competition and Innovation Act introduced a patent dance mechanism. Interchangeability of biosimilars. Interchangeable biosimilars must demonstrate that they produce the same clinical results as the reference product. Some undergo switching studies to confirm safety and efficacy when alternating with the reference biologic. However, interchangeability does not imply superior quality compared to other biosimilars. The Biologics License Application, or the BLA. In the US, biologics are approved under two pathways, BLA 351A for innovator biologics and BLA 351K for biosimilars. These regulatory frameworks ensure rigorous evaluation before market entry. Current Good Manufacturing Practice Compliance. CGMP regulations define quality standards for biologic manufacturing to ensure product safety and efficacy. Compliance with these regulations is critical for obtaining and maintaining regulatory approval. The FDA enforces strict guidelines under Title 21 CFR covering licensing, quality standards, and manufacturing practices for biologics and biosimilars. European Union Biologics and Biosimilars regulations. In the EU, there are a number of guidelines and legal frameworks to follow as well. For example, Udrelix Volume 4 Annex 2, ICH Guidelines Q5 and Q7, and European Directive 2001/83 EC is a legal framework. Conclusion. In summary, biosimilars are transforming healthcare by increasing access to biologic treatments while reducing costs. However, challenges in development, regulation, and market acceptance persist. References and further reading can be found via the FDA, the EMA, and in scientific literature. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.